Hi, I'm Cheryl Jacobs, and welcome to Kids Party Characters Podcast. Make sure you subscribe below. And today we have an amazing author and my ghostwriter for the book of my book, Escape from the Darkness into the Enchanted. She also has a heart of gold. Hi, Carla. How are you?
Hi, Cheryl. I'm really good. Thank you for having me on your show. This is exciting. It's really time for me to start learning how to speak more on these videos and things like this. So this is a great opportunity.
Yeah, I know. I'm right here with you, girl. I just started doing this myself, so we can hold each other's hand.
Okay.
So, how long you've written several books? How long have you been an author?
Well, I wrote my first book, and you can see them behind me. I've got them cleverly positioned there for some shameless promotion. I actually started my first book in 2011 after what I call my very last rock bottom experience. The Mayan conflict of 2011 just kind of stirred up my soul, and I was in a place where I knew that I needed to write my story. And if I didn't, it was a good chance that I would forget what even was about. So I started writing that book in 2011, and I self-published it in 2014. And the book was really chronicling my journey up from my own abuse and situation in 1990 up to that point in 2011. And then I learned about self-publishing. So I actually became an author in 2014. And since that time, I've published 4 of my own best-selling books, each over 300 pages.
Oh,
So
wow, I better step up. Mine's only 60 pages. Um, so
it's
yeah,
just I'm addicted to it.
you are.
I'm
You
addicted to
every time I see you on Facebook, I always see, oh my God, she's got another book coming out. I'm like, this girl is amazing.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, thank you for really helping me with mine. I know my handwriting and all of that was not probably the best for you to read.
I loved it though because I could see when you had a thought, you scratch it out.
Yeah, it was like, and then once it starts coming out, it just like starts coming out like in pages,
Yeah.
pages. So,
I'm
um,
just proud that you did it. I'm just proud that you did it.
well, I'm so glad that I met you. Like a mutual friend of ours, Mel Martin, introduced us, and I've been wanting to write my book forever. My book, for anybody that wants to know, it's "Escape from the Darkness into the Enchanted." It's the story of a teenage mother who's living in poverty to a successful business owner, 9-time business owner who found her passion in children's entertainment. And now I created the membership site for mothers, stay-at-home moms, to have their own children's entertainment company through the comfort of their own homes. So that's what my book is about. It's my journey along the way and my struggles, bad relationships, and everything that I've overcome. So yeah, thank you for like getting that out of me because it was an emotional journey, I must admit, because you had me crying and talk about this and talk about that. And, we all hold things in and it's not easy for you to get it out. But once you start getting it out, the words just start flowing.
That's true.
So, okay. And you also have your own children's book. Let's hear about this.
Okay, well, it's actually an author in Canada. Her name is Marie Dahl, and she, like you, presented us with some hand-drawn coloring sheets, literally just things that she had colored over the years with crayons. And we took her book and created a series of 4 books about a little fairy named Oksana. And Oksana was a shy fairy, and she had friends, and she had a little cousin Daisy, and they all come to help her get out into the world more. So really, it's a children's book series about introverted and shy children and how they can get out into the world a little bit more and open up their voices a little bit more. It's really based on her actual grandniece, and the little girl's name is Oksana, and it's about and the characters in the book are based on Oksana's baby sister and Oksana's big brother, and that's on Amazon.com under Oksana the Shy Fairy, and you can find those hardback. They're about 30 pages long children's books.
Well, those sound very like inspirational for children who are shy. Maybe I should
Yeah.
put those out at my kids' parties. There's a couple kids that will not come near the character at all. You know,
Yeah.
you got those ones that are like hugging and high-fiving and everything else, and then you got those ones that are hiding behind their mom pretty much the whole time.
When my husband was Santa Claus this year, we had the best time ever. But he found a niche with autistic children that I would have never guessed in a million years. Children who had not really ever spoken a lot to Santa Claus, or anybody for that matter, just took to him. It was really shocking to see. And once he found that conversation piece, they latched onto him. So
Yeah, I can imagine, you know, a lot of times we do parties for autistic children, and it's like they have such a more of an appreciation for the character or Santa Claus, you know, than normal. And it's pretty amazing. I actually did Elmo one time for an autistic child, and I went above and beyond. I was helping the mother set up, I was everything. And the child loved Elmo so much. He did not want his cake. He did not want his food. He did not want to play with the other kids. All he wanted to do is sit on Elmo's lap the whole time. And thank God I had a big Elmo head on, because I was bawling underneath.
oh,
I was like, I'm going to send somebody else to do this next time, because I can't handle it. But the parents, let me say, the parents were so appreciative after. They were like, you know, thank you so much. My son really, really loved it. And, you know, they were like, I'm sure that every year they're going to have us come back.
yeah, absolutely.
So I mentioned we were introduced by Mel Martin. Did Mel finish his book, or he's about to finish his book, or I don't even know.
I'm not exactly sure, but he's on his way. I mean, I believe that some of these last things he's doing, he's putting into his book. So he's getting there.
Yeah, I actually interviewed him a couple weeks ago. So he's going to be on our podcast as well.
He's way more energetic than me. I can't keep up with that man.
You know what? I can't either. And he came to New York City for a visit, and he's like, Cheryl, let's go to the gym. Let's go do this. Let's do this. And I'm like, you know, I'm sitting here behind my computer all day, and he's, let's go. And he's in his 50s. And I'm like, and then my poor dog, I have this fold out couch, and my dog's not used to anybody being here because I live alone. Here's my dog in Mel's face. I'm like, that's what he had to wake up to.
And you're going, oh.
I mean, you know, thank God that they bonded and liked each other, because that's what a way to wake up.
Yeah, well, my dog is very protective of me too. He's super protective of me. It's crazy how you can bond with your animals though, but you know, I call him my boyfriend. He's been with me for 10 years now. Not left, not one time. It's like, he did, I say that, he did. He left for 3 weeks one time, but I know what he was doing. They did not sue me for child support either. Just kidding.
Would definitely say that they're better than a boyfriend. Yeah, my dog is, you know, they're loyal. They're, you know, they don't cheat. You know, they love you unconditionally. Better than a boyfriend. Better than any boyfriend I've ever had.
I hear you.
So your new book you just put out is Bending the Universe, YOU Universe. There you go. That's it. And
it's little too. This is the littlest book I've ever done. It's a little one.
What's little? Like how many pages?
This one is 217 pages.
Oh my goodness. That's your little book.
Those behind me are each about 360 pages.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Go girl. That's amazing. And
I'm a geek.
It's okay. And this is just got released on Amazon, correct?
I released it on Christmas Day, actually, and it's available on Kindle and paperback right now. And you all have to check out my 1-star stalker review, because everybody gets one. At least you know somebody's paying attention. This person put the same exact review on all of my books, copy pasted it. So anyway, this book this is about taking everything that you think you know about life and just bending it. It validates the ego, and I think a lot of people don't do that. They want to toss out the ego. They want it to be something separate from them. But the ego is a very strong personality within women. And sometimes that ego comes up and she's actually like a protective personality. So I try to ease that boundary between seeing ego as bad and assimilating it back into who you are as a personality that has really helped you over, over the years through different things. And it talks about all these other modalities that you see and how you can use them, but you don't have to be so attached to them that becomes your only modality. Like I've watched you go through all sorts of different different programs and things, and I'll see that you're really, really getting passionate now about the business part of everything and the Tony Robbins conferences and things like that. So many people get madness from modalities that they think that is exactly what they're supposed to always do and nothing different. So as I started looking at what was going on inside of me, I found that I've got this league of archetypes. It's like this guardian team of personalities that comes to me when I need them the most. I've got an inner child that's wounded. I've got the soul of me, which makes me who I am. There's a mother polarity. There's a father polarity. And then there's that ego. And she's taken the biggest hit because so many people say, don't be in your ego. Well, Tony Robbins, this is his philosophy. He says if he were going to hire a salesperson, she would have compassion and the ego energy to close sales despite hundreds of no's. So she could take a whole lot of no's and then turn it into a yes. He calls that ego energy. So in trying to separate ego from women, they literally are trying to sever out parts of themselves to please other people. And because of that, they don't have a grasp of who they are as a whole person. And it's taken me writing 4 books to finally get there.
Yeah, a couple of things. Tony Robbins actually did an example last week about how he gets his salespeople. And he has this copy where he tells them that he wants somebody that's spectacular, who could take on anything, who's worth $1 million in sales, and they have to sell themselves basically. And then when they call, his staff is to be like, that's not $1 million, and then hang up on him. And the people who call back, like literally 4 times, are the ones who get hired, because he says you have to be able to accept no, and you have to push past that barrier. So that's one of the things that stuck out of my mind.
Exactly. The ones that are willing to go the distance and do it no matter what.
No. And and along with your book too, you have to be true to yourself. It's if you're trying to be something you're not, it's not genuine, and people see right through it. You have to, that's the only way I think you can find happiness, is to be your true genuine self. And when your true genuine self comes out, you get surrounded by the people that love you for who you are. And
that's true.
So.
And that's what I consider you to be too, just so you know.
Well, I spent a lot of years trying to please everybody, make everybody happy, and you can't do it because I have the 1-star review on my book too. Here's my book, everybody. Thanks to Carla. It's now out there on Amazon, and I have the 1-star review, and you can't. And it was something like, oh my God, there was spelling errors.
That's the exact same comment that's on my book. I think it's the same person.
It's probably the same person. Your stalker is stalking me now. I'm like, okay.
But you know what I did? You know what I did to counter that? I went and gave away 100 copies of the book to different people who I know, and I've asked them to come back and give their honest review. Because if I could comment on the comment that this person made, I would say, I dare you to read my book, because you'll see yourself written inside of my book. So that, and I know that they didn't read it because it wasn't a verified purchase, but yeah. It made me a little bit uncomfortable at first, but then I just healed it, because it's not even that important.
It's not that important, because you know who you are, the people that love you know who you are, and there's always going to be that one person who can't do what you're doing, or doesn't have the guts to do what you're doing, that's going to try and pull you down. There's always going to be that one person.
Exactly.
So any plans for the future? Do you have any more books that you're working on? I know you just published one, but is there any more children's books or?
Actually, there's a couple. There's one book that I've started. It's going to be about human potential, and it's going to start with with adults, and it's going to be centered on parenting, because I see so many new parents who need to know what's going on with their unborn children, even while they're still in the womb. And I want to branch that out into a children's series on assertiveness, and how children, right now children are getting bullied. And by the way, I got to talk to both my grandkids over the last month or so on the phone. And so that has opened up the space inside of me. And, it was just hurting me so bad. But I've got in touch with the daughter-in-law, and I've been able to talk to both of them on video phone. It's so incredible. So my children's book series based on human potential is going to be about how we can foster gentleness but assertiveness in children who are ages 6 to 7 to 8, because that's the most critical time for a child to learn. They're absorbing everything as a sponge when they're 3, 4, 5. They're taking everything in, but then they start processing it when they're 7, 8, and 9 years old. They're starting to look at all these memories that they have of their mom and dad fighting. They're starting to process how it feels emotionally to them. So the human potential movement is going to be my next book, but it's going to go all the way from parents down into the children, up into the older generation now, so that we can see what we need to do to make this next jump. We're about to go into artificial intelligence, virtual reality. You've seen it. We've got so much already now that's not really humanized. So I want to rehumanize humanity. That is what I'm up to.
I see that there was actually a woman who, there is so many children too, like that. It is such a crucial age. I think that's why I enjoy my business so much, is because, up until 8 years old is what we really cater to, 1 to 8 year olds. And it's such a crucial time because they're still so innocent, and they're still not really, corrupted yet, I guess you can say. And that it's a great idea. I think there should be more programs too. Because, all of us go into being a parent. There's no recipe for it. There's no instructions on it. I think they should really have some more things out there for parenting groups or classes or something like that, because, the first one, they always say the first one, they have that commercial, you're so protective of the first one, and you're like, hand sanitizer and all this kind of stuff. And then the second one, you're just like, go play in the mud,
Yeah, and the third one, you're like, did I make it?
the third one, you're just like, okay, can you watch the older one watch the younger ones?
Yeah, I have 3 sons, so I went through everything any parent could go through. There were 10 years separation between my oldest son, Logan, and my middle son, Joshua. And then Nicholas was born 5 years after Joshua, so there's 15 years between Logan and Nicholas, which they never really got close at all. But with that gap, and the fact that Logan's father actually was killed in 1990, it was hard to even know how to integrate them to his brothers. So yeah, but parents today, when they're pregnant, when they're actually carrying the baby, this is when they need to be in programs that let them know how things like their emotions impact the baby, how some patterns that maybe they think is okay, like smoking when they're pregnant, how that impacts the baby. Because we're in a position now where we really can educate them. We can educate the new moms now, where when you and I were pregnant, there were no such thing as ultrasounds. You couldn't tell what your baby's sex was till you had it, and you had to kind of use your instinct. You had to use your mother instinct along the way. And then, that's what you did. But today, with the dawn of technology and all these things that we're learning about, the DNA, energy patterns, things like that, new parents should be able to be educated now, even before they have their baby. Excuse me.
I agree. There should be some kind of program out there. And back to what the woman from Tony Robbins, the Kira Franchetti Foundation. I think everybody should look it up. It's a child who was murdered by her father because a custody battle, and then murdered himself and turned his house on fire as a way of revenge to get back at his mother, the mother of the baby, 2 years old. And she's now, because of her foundation and her teaching everybody, you know, the importance of family and family values and things like that. She's got billboards now all over New York and LA and all across the globe right now. And there should be more educational things for parents, because, you know, especially parents with divorces and if they're fighting and they're trying to work it out for the children's sakes, which I personally don't think is a good thing for children, you know, if they're being grown with that. But there's got to be some kind of education for parents and children out there somewhere. And I think it should be more readily available. There's no,
I agree.
So I think if it starts with the children, you know, because if they don't get it when they're small, it just brings it up into the adult world. And there needs to be a change. So it's going to be my new mission, maybe.
I'll do it with you.
There you go. So I'm actually started my second book. It's kind of, you know, that I'm going to be sending over soon. I think I'll type it out for you this time, so you don't have to try and read my writing.
Okay.
But it's going to be my journey from the kids company to the membership site where I teach stay-at-home moms to own their own children's entertainment company, and the joy that it goes along with it. And it's going to be my journey of all the experts that have helped me along the way, like you and Mel and a bunch of the other people that have helped me along the way. So get ready, girl, because it's coming your way soon, probably in a month or two.
I'm ready. I'm already ready. You'll learn, and this is what I like to teach all the women that I work with. If you'll take every idea that you have and you'll just start with the intention that it will be a book, you'll have book after book easily.
Yeah, and everybody has a story. You know, everybody has a story to tell. Everybody's been through something. There is nobody that's, you know, had rainbows and flowers their whole life. Everybody has a story to tell, you know, and let me tell you, it is the best therapy to write your own book and to get it out there. And you're going to cry along the way, and you're going to, things that you know, put down inside yourself that you never wanted to talk about again, it releases it all. It really does. So I encourage people, if you want to write your book, Carla Wynn Hall is the woman to contact. She will help you all along the way. So.
Well, thank you.
There you go. And tell me where you are again. You're in Tennessee.
Where I am? I'm in Tennessee, in Monteagle, Tennessee, about 90 miles southeast of Nashville. Okay. I'm from Alabama, which is where
that's where the accent comes from.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to start saying y'all now.
Y'all. Y'all.
So.
Yeah, draw it out.
So tell everybody where we can reach you. What's your Facebook page?
Okay, you can find me, Carla Wynn Hall on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Carla Wynn Hall, WYNN. Right now I have a program that I'm starting, which is just a free, it's a free workshop, and it's at freedomthroughwriting.org. And that's going to be a 7-day workshop starting February the 1st, where I teach you how to create an outline for your book, how to start building your platform, and then how to start your book launch. My focus this year is building the Freedom Through Writing program so that I can take it by the spring into prisons and rehab facilities for women, mental health facilities for women, because just like Cheryl said, I believe that when you own this story enough to pull it out, knowing that it's going to be a published book, that you go deeper into the healing, because women by themselves can hide away stuff for years upon years upon years and never tell a soul, but that still lives inside of your body. So that's freedomthroughwriting.org. I'm on Instagram as Universe Book, YOU, Universe Book, and everything else is Carla Wynn Hall, Twitter, LinkedIn. So all you would have to do is just type in my name. And that's I just want to encourage you that it, just like Cheryl said, if you have a story, even if you don't feel comfortable writing, even if you don't feel comfortable with a Word document, even if you really want to write it when you're the scaredest, under a tent, on your bed, outside, just do it. And if you need help getting that into a book, let me know. I've constantly got programs going on where you could be a co-author and you just would submit one chapter, or you can get with me and I'll coach you all the way through pulling the book out.
Yeah, that's what she did with me. Coach me, write about this, write about that. And there's also apps too that you can download on your phone. I don't know them right now. I'll put it at the comments below. But there's apps that you can just talk right into your phone. You can tell your story daily. If something pops into your head and you don't have a piece of paper and pen, just record it right into your phone. It's amazing. There's so many things right now that you can do. So that's about it. It's so nice to talk to you again, and I'm definitely going to come visit you in Tennessee here pretty soon.
That would be fun. I could show you the mountains of nowhere, just mountains upon mountains upon mountains. There's a place up here called High Point, and it's a restaurant that's right in between the northern and southern hemisphere. Is directly in the center. It's such a beautiful restaurant, a great place for a photo shoot if you ever want to come see the mountains.
I was actually in Knoxville before. Is that close to you or no?
Knoxville's on the other side of Tennessee. It's closer to Gatlinburg and all that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely, well, I came there in the winter, so I'll come in the summer.
Okay.
I grew up in
that sounds good.
So enough snow for me in Ohio.
I hear you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Carla, and it was nice talking to you again.
Just let me know whenever everything's ready, and I'll share away.
There you go, Mama.
Bye-bye.
Bye.